Welcome to the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, episode number 258. I'm your host, Jay Jones, and today we have an outstanding and a special show in store for you. Today's show topic, family, is a 5-step plan to create a real Juneteenth. A 5-step plan to create a real Juneteenth. But before we get to today's episode, I just want to let you guys know today's episode is really a little bit different. I'm actually video recording myself doing the actual podcast from my family room. So if you want to watch me on the video, then just go to YouTube and the video will be up there along with just the audio. And obviously it's going to still be on all the other podcast platforms. If you're watching the video just now, my cat, I got a black cat. His name is Lucky. So I don't buy into all those stereotypes. All right. My black cat, normally a black cat is bad luck. Not in the Jones household, all black, baby, all black, all day. So if you see my cat running around in the background, that's my boy Lucky. All right. So back to the show. Now, as a few announcements, once again, check out the video if you want to see the show done live. Invite you into my home, done in the family room. So come on in, sit back and enjoy the show as I do it live. So there's not going to be any edits. I'm going to be making a few mistakes here and there, but that's how it is. All right, my new book is out, family. A New Black Wall Street. I'm gonna hold it up right here. A New Black Wall Street, circulating the black dollar worldwide by building successful e-commerce businesses. So if you're interested in building a successful, sustainable e-commerce business, go to anewblackwallstreet.com. Pick yourself up a copy. It's $14.95 plus shipping and handling. Now, if you need additional assistance building your successful, sustainable e-commerce business, I've created a compatible online course titled educatedecommerce.com. Educatedecommerce.com. It takes you from point A to point Z, and it teaches you how to build your own e-commerce sites and also sell on all of the major sites like Amazon, eBay, and others. Speaking of selling online, you guys know that this show is all about circulating the dollar in the black community, the worldwide black community. So I've created 2 platforms to help you do so. So when I was writing the book, I said, okay, I'm writing the book. That's cool. I've got a course to help teach you that, but I need to create some platforms that are going to allow you to circulate dollars in the black community. And the first one that I started with was BeSmartByBlack.com. And that platform is for any black product producers that want to sell their products or services, or their products mainly, to any black consumers worldwide. And it's free. So just go to BeSmartByBlack.com, upload your product information, and connect with black consumers worldwide. Now, for all you freelancers, I didn't forget about you. And the way this came about was I was looking for a black videographer in Philadelphia for an event I was doing, and I couldn't find one, which didn't make any sense. So I created another platform called HireBlackFreelancers.com. So if you do anything on Fiverr or Freelancer.com, put your information up. It's free once again, and you can connect with black consumers and black businesses worldwide. A lot of times I used to go to Fiverr to get some digital stuff done. Why do I want to spend my money with somebody in another country, in Yugoslavia or wherever, when I can spend my money for my business or my personal with my own people? So HireBlackFreelancers.com, HIRE blackfreelancers.com. Also, just want to let you guys know that the BEB Academy, the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint Academy, just closed down. We have a tremendous amount of people inside the academy, and each and every week, there's going to be new content that comes out in the academy. So if you go to joinbebacademy.com, you can get on the waiting list because it won't open up again until the end of 2019. So go to joinbebacademy.com and get on the waiting list. All right. Today's show, family, this is serious business. Juneteenth. I just want to read a little something real quick off of my phone, but I'm sure most of you guys know what Juneteenth is. But Juneteenth is also known as Juneteenth Independence Day or Freedom Day. And it's a day, an American holiday that commemorates the June 19th, 1865 announcement of the abolition of slavery in the U.S. All right. Now, even though slavery was abolished, there's still remnants, major remnants of slavery going on today. And I don't want to get too deep or too heavy, but there's a lot of stuff going on today that we really need to work on. So today we're going to talk about a 5-step plan to create a real Juneteenth. And when I was thinking this up, I created actually a t-shirt for it. My daughter was like, Dad, that's pretty hot. You need to create something with it. So before I forget, if you want to check out blackuprising.com, blackuprising.com, you'll be able to check out the t-shirt. But a 5-step plan to create a real Juneteenth. Dedicate, educate, elevate, aggregate, and liberate. I'm going to repeat that, and I'm going to go into all 5 of them. Dedicate, educate, elevate, aggregate, and liberate. That's the 5-step plan to create a real Juneteenth. It's funny, guys, when I do my show, a lot of times I'll have notes. And I have notes. I actually use composition books. I got tons of composition books with notes from my shows. So I'm just going to cheat a little bit today. But I'm going to give you the definition, and we're going to start with dedicate. The definition of dedicate is to devote time, effort, or oneself to a particular purpose or task. To devote time, effort of oneself to a particular purpose or task. That's dedication. You know, Floyd Mayweather used to always talk about hard work and dedication. Dedicating yourself to a purpose, a task, or something. So first thing we need to do is dedicate. Then is educate. Give intellectual, moral, or social instruction. Give intellectual, moral, or social instruction. Elevate, raise, or lift. Aggregate, a whole formed by combining several. A whole formed by combining several. And liberate, set free from a situation, especially imprisonment or slavery. You know, so liberation, okay? Emancipation is when you have to ask for something. Somebody is giving it to you. Liberation is when you take it. So today's show topic, a 5-step plan to create a real Juneteenth. And we're going to start off number 1 with dedicate. And this show is going to be a little bit off the muscle right now. It's just going to be a free flowing show. I have a few notes, but I'm just going to really speak from the heart like I always do. Dedication. The whole purpose of Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, the podcast, and the whole ecosystem, everything that's been created is dedicated to our people. It's dedicated to us to take us to another level. And sometimes we have to understand that, you know, you need to dedicate to support your family. You need to dedicate to support Black businesses. You need to dedicate to support your community. All other ethnicities and communities support each other. All other ethnicities and communities support each other. I was listening to a video, and Dick Gregory was speaking, and I think it was on one of the Hidden Colors movies by Tariq Nasheed. And Dick Gregory was speaking, and he said he was talking to an Asian gentleman. And what had happened, the situation was there was a wholesaler, Black wholesalers were trying to sell into Asian stores. And the wholesalers came in and they were like, look, we got these better prices. We'll even beat the prices you're paying for your products for your store by 25%. And the owner of the store, the Asian guy, was like, no. That's okay. I'm not interested. And so Dick Gregory was talking to the guy, and the guy was telling him the story. And the Black guy, the wholesaler, asked him, he said, well, why wouldn't you do it? He said, what you Black folk have to understand, it's not just about money. Basically, what the Asian guy was saying is, we're going to continue to buy from our distributors, regardless of the price, because we know we're going to circulate those dollars back into our community. As opposed to us, see, we'll go shop anywhere. If an Asian family or store opens up in our community, we'll go there. If an Italian restaurant opens up, we'll go there. If a Jewish deli restaurant opens up, we're going to go there. And here's the reverse. Here's the flip, family. We open up a restaurant. Guess what? The only people that come there most of the time, unless you're a very famous restaurant, they're out there, most of the time is us. So integration basically was saying that, hey, okay, we're going to give our money not just to black people now, we're going to give it to everybody. And in doing so, we've been weakening the black businesses. Dedication. This is a 5-step plan to create a real Juneteenth. All right. Freedom. That's what Juneteenth is about. Freedom. We're not free yet, family. We got a lot of work to do. So step number one, dedicate. And it starts at the house. Starts with you. Are you dedicating, like I said, to support your family? Are you dedicated to support black businesses? And I talk about this all the time. We got all of these electronic devices, laptops, cell phones, iPads. How much does it take for you to go and seek out a black business? That's why, no excuses, family. You got all types of apps out there. The U.S. Black Chamber of Commerce has an app. There's several other apps out there. That's why I created BeSmartByBlack.com and HireBlackFreelancers.com. And there are other similar platforms out there. So we need to take advantage of that and dedicate ourselves to supporting our own. Every other ethnicity does it. And guess where we fall? On the bottom. And there's a reason. Because we've been stripped of everything. And like I said, I don't want to get too heavy on it, but we need to dedicate ourselves to support our businesses, our families, and everything. Step number 2, educate. Have you educated yourself? And I'm not talking about necessarily getting a master's degree or a PhD. Have you educated yourself? All right. Have you educated your family about black economics? Have you spoken to your children and explained to them the reason we need to support black businesses? All right. Have you educated your family and your kids about black history, about black liberation, about black business? And I say it all the time on the show, family. If they don't teach black economics or black history in your school, not black economics, I'm sorry, black history in your school, guess what? It's okay, because that's your job. You're the parent. You don't wait for other institutions and people to give your children what they need. That's your job. Everybody else should be filling in on what you're bringing into your children. So education. Now, I always talk about entrepreneurship because an economic power base is the key. So even if you're not in college or didn't go to college, you didn't finish high school, you're coming out of prison, you can still educate yourself. Education comes in many forms and fashions. It can come through reading. It could be coming from taking courses, doing online courses, studying, apprenticeship. Continue to educate yourself, because if you're not educating yourself, you're going backwards. You're hustling backwards. There's no such thing as standing still. Either you're going forward or you're going backwards. So when we come home from work, if you're working for somebody else, corporate America, and you're tired, I get it. Turn the TV off for an hour. Read for an hour. Educate yourself. My dad used to say something that is true. He said, you can tell a lot about a man by looking at their bookshelf. Now, today people read on iPads and things like that, so you can't really do that. But what he was saying was, you put good things in, good things come out. Garbage in, garbage out. If you're not educating yourself, you're not doing anything, family. You're going backwards. So once again, and it's not just about you, it's about educating yourself, your family, your children, and your community. What are you doing to help educate the community, to help bring them up? So that's number 2. And today, family, we're talking about a 5-step plan to create a real Juneteenth, a real emancipation. Number 1 step was dedicate. Number 2 was educate. Number 3, elevate. Elevate. Have you devoted yourself to elevating yourself, elevating your family, your spouse, your kids? And when I say elevate, it means feeding them things that are going to take them to another level. Feeding them things that are going to take them to another level. Now, I don't know how many of you saw there was a video on Twitter. When this comes out on Monday, is probably about a week ago. And it was like a little boy in his pre-kindergarten class that was graduating, a brother, and his sister was up there, and she was going, and she was the teacher. And the first thing he said was, shut the F up. She was talking to the kids, and he yelled out, "Shut the F up." Then they tried to ignore that. He told the teacher, "Shut up, you B." And then the father came in and snatched him out of there. But what was concerning to me was that all of the people, or most of the people on that thread on Twitter, were talking about how funny that was. And see, to me, it's sad. There's nothing funny about that. I didn't like my kids when they were bad. So I damn sure ain't going to like somebody else's kids when they bad. But what that is, that kid isn't getting elevated at the crib. This cat had to be about 4 or 5 years old. And he's going to say, shut the F up to a woman. And then he said, "Shut up, you B." That's something that's learned. I don't know if it's learned by the parents teaching him that, or he's sitting there watching TV, watching HBO unattended. Are you elevating yourself? Elevating yourself. Elevate means to raise or lift. Are you elevating yourself? And it starts with you. Are you elevating your family? Are you elevating your children? Are you bringing things in to elevate them? Or are you not? So step number 3, elevate. It's all about rising. If not, I'm telling you, when I saw that on Twitter, I got mad. I was pissed off because I can't stand bad kids. Like I said, when my kids were bad, that ass was going to get tapped. I know some people don't parent like that, and I didn't spank my kids a lot. But if something comes out of your mouth that disrespectful, you're going to get tapped. You get checked in the Jones household. None of that was funny, and it was, once again, sad to me to see that people were laughing and saying, "Oh, laughing my ass off. Oh, all these." Come on, man. That's sad. Because whoever the parents aren't doing what they need to do. All right. That's number 3, elevating. We're talking about a 5-step plan to create a real Juneteenth. If you just heard that ding dong, that's my daughter coming in. That's the alarm. But we're going to keep rolling. All right. Number 4 is aggregate. The definition of aggregate is a whole formed by combining several. Aggregate. So number 1, dedicate. 2, educate. Number 3, elevate. Number 4, aggregate. And aggregate, have you aggregated on your own or with your family for a business? And I'll give you a perfect example. Aggregation means a whole formed by combining several. And that's what we need to do as a people, aggregation. Even though we have a $1 trillion, we earn $1 trillion in the black community a year as of 2018, it's not aggregated. So it's no power behind it. So like a fire hose, when somebody sprays a fire hose on you, that's aggregated water. It's coming together. It's centralized. It's focused. With us, it's all over the place. So there's no power if it's not aggregated. It's just like a fist. If I open my hand up, I got 5 fingers. Yeah, I can slap you in the face. But if I ball my fingers up, that punch is more powerful. So are you aggregating? And here's a great example of my next door neighbor, who's white. Now, their family didn't go to college, neither the mother or father. Very nice people, been family friends since we moved here. And my daughter, my youngest daughter, and their daughter are like best friends since they were 6 or 7 years old. Now, in talking to them, they have a beach house down in Myrtle Beach. They actually started with one in Delaware that my neighbor, his brother, and his 2 brothers actually bought a house together. That's an aggregation of money. They bought that house. They ended up selling it. Then he and his wife bought one down in Myrtle Beach, and I think they're in the process of buying another one. So it's all about aggregation. How many times have you come together with your family members or friends to aggregate and try to buy something, obviously, that's going to appreciate and not depreciate? A lot of times we try to come together with an investment club and people don't put their dues in. That happened to me before years ago. We had an investment / social club, and fools couldn't even put in $10 a week. But yet they be out drinking at the club, but you can't allot your money to something that's going to be beneficial. that's going to elevate you, that's going to build an asset. So we need to aggregate. And that's why when we talk about politicians, and I know, man, don't come and talk to me about not voting, because you're not going to like what I'm going to tell you. So when people talk about not voting, right, I get it. A lot of times you don't think you can affect things. But what you really need to understand is if we aggregated our money and understood how politics works, it's a play for pay or pay for play game. So we support you monetarily. You get in office and you do what we need you to do, what benefits us. Now, we always complain about all of these other groups that the politicians are taking care of. And the reason is because these groups are aggregating their money to influence politicians who obviously influence policy. Politics influences policy. So anybody who sits there and tells you voting doesn't matter is wrong according to Jay Jones, all right? I'm going to tell you, and I'm just going to digress real quick. Even if you don't think you can make a difference in the national election for president, you better vote for your local elections, your school boards. What's going on in the schools that your kids go to? Gentrification in the neighborhoods. Your grandmom lived in North Philly for 45 years. Now that part of North Philly is called Northern Liberties because the politicians and the developers decide to get together because those developers aggregated their monies, elected a politician who is now going to do what they want. So when now you want to go and change this part of North Philly into Northern Liberties, the gentrification takes place. Now, the tax base that grandma had when she came in there 40 years ago is sky high now. It quadrupled, and she can't afford that. So guess what happens? She either is going to lose her house or they're going to buy the house for eminent domain for less than the value of the property. Okay? So aggregation. The definition of aggregation, a whole formed by combining several. So if we don't learn the process of aggregation, family, it ain't going to be no real Juneteenth. And that's the true emancipation, the true freedom. And it comes from economics. And economics controls the politics. It controls the media. It controls education. So we're talking about a 5-step plan to create a real Juneteenth. Number 1, dedicate. 2, educate. 3, elevate. 4, aggregate. Number 5 is liberate. And liberate's definition is set free from a situation, especially imprisonment or slavery. All right. And I told you the difference between liberation and emancipation is 2 different things. Emancipation is you're asking for something. Liberation is you're taking it. And that's what we need to do. If you don't realize it, we are the underclass, and it's been systematically set up to be that. When we were brought over here, we were basically brought over as labor. So guess what happens now since we're not in the industrial revolution anymore? We're in the technical revolution. So when they don't need you anymore, guess what? They have to find another way to make money off of you. And that's called the prison industrial complex. Oh, there's so many of these cats sitting around. You drive down certain major streets in Philadelphia during the day, and it's a shame because I know all of these cats don't work at night. And the problem is we have to continue to retrain ourselves and be able to be wanted. First of all, I'm all about starting your own business. I'm not talking about getting a job or for somebody else. Create your own job. But liberation means to set free. And that comes when all of the other steps I just talked about are handled. You dedicate yourself to your family, to the cause, to the movement. However you can, you dedicate yourself. You educate yourself. Level up. Level up. If you don't educate yourself, you're going backwards. Like I said, family, there's no such thing as staying still. You're either going forward or you're going backwards. Elevate. Elevation comes from the mind. It means to raise or lift. Are you elevating yourself? Are you elevating your children? Are you showing them positive things to elevate them? And once again, I'm going to use the example of Black history in schools. Don't wait for somebody else to teach your children the necessary things they need to be successful. That's what a parent is called. That's your job. Everybody else should be filling in around you. You shouldn't be filling in around everybody else. So if your school doesn't teach black history, which most of them don't, that's your job. You go get books, you go watch videos, and you teach your children the importance of that. All right? So educate, elevate. I just talked about elevate. Aggregate. It's the coming together. It's the circulation of the black dollar. It's the coming together and focusing on specific things. Once again, when we come to politics, people always say, they don't vote. I guarantee you there's a lot of you got family members that are in jail for the 3 strikes rule, right? And how was that implemented? Through politics, which created policy. I got family members that were in jail for the 3 strikes you're out rule. So don't sit here and tell me that voting doesn't count. But what I will tell you is that the economics behind politics is just as, if not more important. Because I don't care if you black, white, Asian, whatever. If you're doing what I need you to do in terms of the policies and procedures, then I'm cool with that. And the way you control policy and politics is an aggregation of funds. So when all of these other companies or organizations have political action committees, that's why the NRA was so big, even though it's taking a hit right now, because they're donating. The Koch brothers, I talked about that on several of the shows, billionaire Koch brothers who designed that during the midterm after President Obama got elected the first time in, 2008 and 2010, the midterms, they identified over 50 races that they wanted to put Republicans in to win those specific races. And what they did was, since they're billionaires, they have a political action committee, and they took those funds and they donated those funds to help these candidates that they handpicked increase their awareness with television ads, radio, and the whole shebang. And out of those 50 some odd people, like 90% of them won the election. So that's what happened when the House and Senate got flipped back then, because we didn't come out because we were so happy that President Obama was in the White House. And so we're not even going to get into that. But the backlash or the white lash from having a black man as president, we're seeing the effects of that right now. So in terms of being able to create a real Juneteenth, it's not going to happen, family, unless we take these 5 steps. And there's probably a couple more, but these are my 5 steps. Dedicate, educate, elevate, aggregate, and liberate. And once we're able to do that, then we'll be truly emancipated or liberated per se. So once again, guys, a 5-step plan to create a real Juneteenth. And nobody's going to do it for us. People had the misconception that when Obama got in office, he was going to knock on your door, talk about, yo, I got money for you. It don't work like that. Nobody's going to save you. There's nobody on a white horse coming, knocking on the door. And you should be ashamed of yourself if you thought President Obama was going to be able to change everything, because they were stopping him at every turn. But what you did notice was there were certain groups that he did a whole lot for. And the reason being was he had a war chest of close to $1 billion. And so those political action committees that funded him, guess what? They got preferential treatment. See, the problem with us is just because he's black and we black, we thought we were going to get preferential treatment. First of all, being the president, you're not omnipotent. You don't have total control like this idiot Trump thinks he has. It doesn't work like that. That's why you have the House and the Senate. That's why you have the 3 levels of judiciary. So don't expect anybody to save us, family. It's up to us to save ourselves. A 5-step plan to create a real Juneteenth. Dedicate, educate, elevate, aggregate, and you'll get that liberate. Now, before we close out, family, check out blackuprising.com. I got a couple of merchandise products up there. I got one of the new T-shirts that says dedicate, educate, elevate, aggregate, liberate. It's a pretty hot shirt. Check it out, blackuprising.com. And also, all of the new people that are watching for the first time or listening for the first time, I'm about to give you my social media information. So please definitely connect with me. And just a note as we go out, I say it each and every week, but every episode, family, more and more downloads, and that's attributed to you, the BEB family. And I say this all the time, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I get so many people that reach out to me and tell me, thank you for what you're doing, but you guys don't understand what you mean to me. It's an honor for me to be able, that you trust me enough to listen to me, take in what I say, come back at me when you got to, and I appreciate that. But it's really an honor for me to be able to do that. And you guys don't know the joy that it gives me to be able to put this show out and get the feedback and impact people the way the BEB whole ecosystem does. So thank you guys very much. And please continue to spread the word about Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, the podcast, the website. Check out my website too. I just updated. I got a couple new things on there. So please check out blackentrepreneurblueprint.com. Obviously, the podcast is on all your major podcast platforms and YouTube, but please connect with me via social media. So if you got anything long, just hit me on my email at jjones@blackentrepreneurblueprint.com, JAYJONES@blackentrepreneurblueprint.com. Facebook, go to Facebook, type in Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, like the page, and I got a lot of stuff coming out on Facebook too. Twitter, JJones001, JAYJONES001. Instagram, JJones for real, JAYJONES, the number 4, REAL. YouTube, family, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Go to YouTube, type in Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. I have additional content on YouTube that is not on the podcast. So I'm going to start doing a lot more videos and things. So please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. LinkedIn, go to LinkedIn, look for J Jones, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Connect with me there. Text messaging. All right. If you want to be included in the BEB text line for special notifications and reminders, text BEB, like Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, to 555-888. BEB to 555-888. And once again, if you are interested in bringing me out to speak at a school, college, church organization, event, book talk, just go to bookjjones.com, bookjjones.com. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. Once again, you can check it out on video. A 5-step plan to create a real Juneteenth, which is the real emancipation. We got work to do, family, but it all starts with you. Goes from you to your family, to your community, to the nation, to the world. So don't slip and don't sleep on this, guys. We got to do it, because if you didn't understand or don't know, we're still under attack and we're still not free. And the only way freedom comes is through economics. There's no revolution without economics. All right. So we got to focus on economics. Support your brothers and sisters in business, not just here in the States. This thing is downloaded in, I can't even count how many countries. It's a worldwide black economy, a worldwide black economy. So make sure you take the time, a concerted effort, to find and support black-owned businesses in your local community, nationally and worldwide. Love you guys. I'll see you same time next week. Peace.